What?
Nothing. No, it's fine. So, Alec, do you want to just talk to the camera?
Why?
We were having a little bit of an issue earlier. So we are just double checking to see if our new stream is working. And we have about a 60-second little thing with, and here it is. And we are working. Let me just double check and make sure the sound is working.
Is it working?
Yep. All right. So I'm just going to change the description, just letting everyone know to come over here. But in the meantime, Alec, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Alex Schwant. I'm a director of photography and colorist based in Minneapolis, and I graduated from the Minneapolis College of Art and Design in spring of 2013, along with Ben.
Cool. Yeah, what was your, I guess, first experience with this, or like how'd you get on board?
I got on board with Super Academy from Ben, and I had done projects before in different classes. So in 16 millimeter narrative film, we did a couple things, and then he's crewed on some of my stuff, and yeah, so he brought up his senior project and said it was about superheroes, and I said I was interested because I'd never done anything like that before, any kind of superhero stuff or shooting people in masks. So it was, I'm always looking to do new opportunities and new types of films, and I think that's part of the fun of the job. So yeah.
Cool. So what's, I guess, your job as cinematographer? And by the way, so this is live, so if you guys have any questions for us, just let us know.
Yeah, that's a tough question. In broad terms, I think it's being in charge of the camera. It's being in charge of the camera and lighting. So you where the director wants to place it, that's where you place it, and you frame it, and then you light it, and that's sort of your job, and sort of to keep things moving and to keep to have a plan for the stylistic choice of what kind of lighting you want to do and how you want the movie to look in combination with the director and what their vision for the film is. So it's a really collaborative kind of process. You kind of have to be doing an interview with someone. You kind of have to be a chameleon and fit each director's style differently, because every director will want something different from you. Some, they will just let you have free reign of how you want the visual style look, and some take a little bit more control over that. And it's fun to work in both kind of respects. So that's the part I really like about it, is that you get to do so many different things. You get to go to so many different places and do different genres, and it keeps it exciting, and it keeps you interested, and when you're interested, you do good work.
All right, cool. It looks like we are working now. So yeah, no, I sort of worked with Alec on most of my films. Not some, yeah, first one was 16 millimeter, which was when it was actually shot on actual film. They kind of removed that from the program recently.
It's too bad.
Yeah, as it is considered not a viable thing anymore. But yeah, sorry about all that. So, like I said, if you have any questions for either of us, we are here for that. Otherwise, let's just talk about. So, for this kind of thing, how would you, I guess, say you really shot it, or like, well, I mean, did you really take like looks from it, or were you trying to I mean, obviously, I gave you certain things, like I want, sort of like Avengers, sort of superhero thing. But like, is there certain things that you notice that okay, to achieve that sort of look, I have to do this, or I have to be on the lookout for this?
Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of after Ben asked me to come on. I watched a lot of superhero movies, anywhere from like Kick-Ass to Dark Knight to Iron Man or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I think the thing that I wanted to do though was to keep it not too stylized and to not make it too flashy. I guess not to have the lighting call attention to itself because I think it's as much as it is a story about superheroes, it's a story about these kids. And I thought that was the interesting part of it. So I tried to keep it, based in reality. And we shot on the Red One, which was, I think, a good camera for that. It's got a good image. It's clean and it was very close.
All right. Cool. So, but one thing about the red is like a lot of it doesn't it make it like really flat, or like is that an issue that you ran into?
No, that's actually a good thing. It records in a flat kind of color space. So
Flat in this case, if they don't know what that means, just how do you?
well, so normally when you look through a camera, it'll show you kind of more or less exactly what you're going to get. But with the Red and other cinema cameras like that, you can record flat, which basically means that you need to grade it after the fact. So it records, everything just looks really washed out, and there's not a lot of color and not a lot of saturation in anything. So that's one thing I really like about that camera, that it's very high resolution and it gives you that power over the image after the fact, which is always very helpful.
Okay. So, what's your favorite Super Academy story?
Favorite story.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess my favorite moment was doing the fight scene. I hadn't done a lot of fight scenes prior to that for a long time, so that was a really fun experience to do fights again and just shoot it, and just to have that kind of freedom again was really cool. And having the stunt coordinators on set and having them work with the actors was all really awesome to watch. And that's not something I get to do a lot anymore.
Yeah, I remember during the gym scene. This is just a funny story, I guess. I think a lot of our crew members got used as heroes, but I think I took most of your crew away at that point.
Yeah, everyone was kind of decked out in shirts off and hats and capes.
Yeah, it wasn't the best for productivity, I guess.
No, but it was. Yeah, I mean, with that scene in particular, it was sort of. I think at first we tried to see how much we could light it because the gym was so bright and it was this fluorescent green and it was kind of ugly. So I wanted to see what we could get out of it with all our lights. We set up all our lights in a line and it did nothing. So we just scrapped the lights and just shot with the overhead kind of banks, which as I'm doing more stuff, it seems like that's almost the way to go, is to try to do it with as little as possible and try to keep it simple and not try to set up all those lights because that was a gigantic waste of time.
All right. So I guess you weren't just a cinematography though. You also did color correction. So you took the after we were done editing, took the image and just sort of altered the colors to make it fit each other. Can you just explain the color correction, what that is?
Yeah, I think color correction serves kind of two purposes. One is more of a practical purpose of, I mean, say you're shooting something that's outside and changing light where the sun is moving, or it gets later in the day or whatever, and to bring those into, after everything's picture locked, and bring those in and match them together color wise, so it's not sort of disjointed and jumping out, is something that most movies do, all movies do nowadays. And the other reason is to add a look to it, so that maybe take the blue out of it, or add in the blue, or add in green, or make it feel cold.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we actually have some raw footage from the original Super Academy uncolored, and Alec can show you exactly what goes into coloring an image. So, um, so here we go. Whoa, moving super fast. Um, so, let's see. What we gotta get closer. That looks like not good. All right. There we go. Um, sorry, the original plan was getting it directly from the screen, but that seemed to be causing a sound problem. So we're doing it like this. Alec needs to contortion himself, get around the tripod. But yeah.
Turned out pretty good.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, if you can see this, this is a shot from Super Academy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what it looks like on the web, but this is how it was recorded. So when you shoot on red, you can shoot with a look in it, so it can be helpful to view how it's going to look instead of viewing a raw. But to see that, when I was talking about raw and shooting flat, that's what flat looks like. It washes everything out. It takes all the color out of it. Then the job of the colorist is to come in and to grade it. So you start with, I think, three major things are to get the highlights. And it's sort of similar to Photoshop. You play around with the levels, and it has curves in it, and it's basically Photoshop but for motion. So I usually do three modes. So here's one for luminance, kind of getting the highlights and all that to sit right, and then I do one for color. So I might say that there's a little too much green in it, so you come in and you can kind of take that down. It's really, you can do a lot in this grading, and it's usually very minute changes, but it can be huge changes if you want it to be. And films have done that and been very successful with that. So yeah, that's a quick grade. That's what it would look like started, or straight out of the camera,
mm-hmm.
And then with a very fast grade put on it, it looks like that. And then you can do, there's a ton of stuff you can do. You can change color of his shirt. You can change it to green, or you could. What I like to do a lot is to add windows to sort of highlight, specific areas. So say I thought that his mask was too white, or what the hell? The thing I ran into a lot on this was shooting this character, Dark Cop's costume, which is all black against the white snow being hit by sunlight.
Yeah, apparently I was told like the three colors you want to avoid are black, white, and red.
Yeah,
so
which is pretty much all that's in this frame right now. But the red handled it really great, and I think the costume was looked really good. So, but it did take a lot of using these windows and using other techniques to try to make it more seamless into the scene and make it a little less jarring because sometimes you would kind of bring the blacks to where you like it, but then his suit would be a black hole. So it was fighting against that, and that's a lot of what color is kind of making a change and then fighting against it in another node. These things up here are called nodes, which are basically your layers for changing the image. But yeah, so
How long does this usually take?
I mean, it can vary. On a shot like this, it can be pretty simple, but I've done shots that are 30 nodes and 40 nodes and with a lot of corrections. Like maybe this tree I think is too bright. I mean, it's really kind of you could be here for years to kind of tinker with the image, but um, yeah, it's a great program, and you can do stabilization in it, and you can even do 3D.
Ooh.
But yeah, I mean, it can be as involved as you want it to be, but it definitely has a huge impact over how the final film is viewed. Color is I think, really important. I mean, it can change the tone of a scene, and it can really add a lot to the film. So it's definitely an important step of the process.
Okay. Cool. So let's back up a bit. Here we go. We're about to go on another ride, guys. Whoa, 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 whoa. So thank you guys, by the way, for sticking with us. We've resolved the major issue with Resolve. That's the name of the program we just did. That was a joke. Yeah, right now we haven't gotten any questions. What's I guess usually, what kind of things do you like to hear, instructions wise in your DP? Or what kind of instructions do you get a lot that you just make no sense and you just always get?
I like clear direction. I like when the director knows exactly what they want out of a shot, which Ben usually does too.
Usually, I mean, I think I told you once, can you do this but make it look better?
Yeah.
That was, I think we only had 10 minutes left or something.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you get directions that are hard to follow or hard to understand. And sometimes you end up shooting, maybe shooting really late, and the lighting.
Or do it without a light.
Yeah.
And if it's black or something.
Yeah. There can come to that, but I mean, if you, I think planning is a super important part of this process. Planning out with the director, and hopefully with an AD, and figuring out how to attack it. There's a lot of different ways you can shoot the scene, and have it planned out is definitely helpful.
Cool. So who works the DP? I mean, can you talk about sort of the other crew and what their jobs are?
Yeah. So I guess the main person a DP works with is the gaffer. So you'll kind of discuss what you want to do for lighting and maybe saying that you want to have something hard coming through here, and they will pick a light and place it and move it around. And it's a really collaborative position, which is what I like about it. And you get to work with a lot of different people. And, I guess the other one, grips. Having a good AC is really important.
AC is
assistant camera. So they someone who basically treats the camera as if it's their child, and the lenses as if it's their child.
They're more expensive than some children.
Yes.
No,
more valuable. But having someone that you can trust in that position is really, really important, and really helpful. So you don't have to worry about that. And someone who can always be one step ahead of you is always nice. But yeah, I mean, it's really the gaffer and the people who set up lights, they really make it happen. So it's really important to have those people. It's not a solo group.
How, I guess, expensive is some of this equipment?
Well, we shot the Super Academy on the red one, which dropped in price. But the lenses are still pretty expensive, and I mean, cameras can go anywhere from $100 for a flip cam or whatever to $100,000 for an aerial Alexa. It really wants the camera
Right.
quality.
Right. Which is a bit of why. No, the Kickstarter is half of it is maybe a third of it is for all the equipment, just rentals.
Yeah.
I mean, on the original film, we also had access to school equipment, which saved us probably thousands of dollars in the long run.
A lot of money. Yeah. Renting isn't cheap.
So, yeah. Just checking. Nope. Okay. So, I don't know. Do you like Super Camera? I mean, you can just say no, you didn't like it. Okay.
No, I think it was really great. I think it had a good mix of humor and of action and of suspense. And I still love the fight scene.
Yeah, that was. Oh yeah, no, it was. Let's talk about the fight actually. So the changing of aspect ratios, I think was your idea.
Yeah, well, not the idea that I stole / wanted to try. The Dark Knight did that where they shot in IMAX, so it was more of a significant jump. So where most of the Dark Knight was like this, and a 2:4 aspect ratio, they jumped to I don't know the exact
3:4.
That's something crazy, but jumped to basically a square. So I wanted to try that, so we went from 2:4 to 16:9. So from letterbox to where it would fill a normal TV, which was kind of fun. You would never do that like on a dramatic film or on like a Goodfellas or something. But for the type of movie that it was fun to kind of play around with. How can you bring the audience into that scene? And I think opening it up helped kind of the epicness of that fight, I guess. So I think it worked out. Maybe we wouldn't do it again.
Right. No, it's kind of funny actually. A lot of people actually don't notice when you change aspect ratios. I mean, I think there's, it's strange that, I mean, if you, I guess dealing with film, you get sort of like a psychic power where you start to notice things that you wouldn't normally, like, oh, they inserted that for like 2 frames. Like I was watching The Ring and it cuts to the ring for a second. And it's like, whoa, did you see that? And no one else saw it. So,
playing tricks.
It's like Jedi training. Wait. So let's see. So what kind of stuff are you doing now that we're graduated?
I've kind of been doing everything.
Yeah.
I mean, doing interviews, stuff to make money, and then stuff to stay in short films, and music videos, and that kind of thing, which I really enjoy doing.
Cool. Yeah, no, when we were doing the 48-hour film festival, which is a thing that the film you make in 48 hours, which I guess that's why it's named that. It's pretty smart. No, but you were working on like a feature film, and then on the weekend you had off, and you were just like, yeah, I'll do that too. And then went back, and it was like...
Which is definitely draining. But we got to use the equipment from that, which was nice.
Yeah.
But, yeah, shooting in that short amount of time is stressful. It's hard. But a lot of fun.
Great. So, yeah, we're not really getting into questions at all, so do you just want to talk about something?
What's the latest movie you've seen?
I just actually saw Lone Survivor, which I don't think it's even released yet.
Oh, is it that Guys in the Woods?
Yeah.
Some guy from Cohen's last movie. True Grit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was
Is it good?
actually
Maybe you need to see The Hobbit.
yes. You know, just it's 3 hours of 40 pages or something.
Yeah. And even made up stuff.
No, they're not made up. They're from the Scrimmill. The Scrim. The Scrim. I can't.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think 3D is going to take over the world someday, which I'm not really looking forward to.
Yeah, we talked at one point about shooting this in 3D. Not for very long.
No.
Just because you need 2 cameras essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 3D camera is just 2 cameras right next to each other.
Mm-hmm. Either right next to each other or one coming down like this, which makes double the rig, triple the rig.
Would you want to shoot it if we did, or if we get funded? Would you want to shoot it pretty much the same way?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you would like me to change to make your job easier?
To write a better script. No. I think that would be a really fun experience to kind of carry out visual ideas throughout a season. I love TV and watching TV shows, and it's always interesting how like the visuals will kind of develop over a season and change. And it's like shooting a 5-hour movie or something, but shorter with a web series, but it's sort of same kind of idea.
Yeah, no, I mean that's, I mean, it's funny. Like even though like TV shows are shorter and everything, they almost have more stuff in them. Just because, yeah, you can do like lots of episodic stuff, or you can just stay on a certain thing for much longer. In fact, sometimes you do because they want to have like a cliffhanger or whatever. So ending it right there is a common thing.
Yeah. Super Time is kind of a cliffhanger, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, it's kind of hoping like, oh, they're friends now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, I know it's gonna happen next, but none of them do.
I don't
Yeah. Well, that's it. But,
That's
so yeah, we've been on for about, well, now only about half an hour due to few technical issues earlier. So I guess we'll probably wrap up a little bit here. Unless anyone has any questions at all. I mean, Friday night or Monday night on Christmas, people are pretty busy, I guess. Just family or something. I don't know. So I don't know. What inspires you to image? What do you look for?
It's really the story.
With
The story. Yeah, I mean, it's everything should relate back to that. If the visuals are too noticeable or too or take too much attention, I think it's a bad thing. I like to have nice looking images, obviously, and well lit, but yeah, I think every story is different, and Super Academy kind of lends itself to a different style, and other movies lend themselves to a different style, and it's working with them that makes it fun.
Okay. What do you mean by like using the image? Like, how would you tell a story with the image?
Well, I mean,
or like do it in a way that relates to it. Like are there certain things that help tell a story or help emphasize it, or what?
Yeah, going back to the gym scene, there's a shot in Super Academy of 2 characters who don't know each other and don't really plan on getting to know each other, but it's super wide back, one character on one side of the frame, one character on the other side of the frame.
And that was your idea.
And then one character gets up and walks over, and I think images like that can very simply tell that these two characters are far apart, and someone's making a pass over them.
Yeah,
It's-
no, that was a really great idea.
Mm.
I mean, I don't think that was originally even planned.
Mhm.
Or maybe it was planned. A couple of the things we had planned, we had to cut down a bit on.
Scrap, yeah. But that's also part of the fun of it. Is you come in and you might think of a better shot that could do it, and once you're in the space, and, stuff like that. But yeah, I love those simple shots that are fun like that.
All right, cool. Tonight's going to be a bit of a shorter one. Tomorrow we're going to be meeting with our composer, and he's actually going to be doing live music scoring. If you can tune into that, that will be at 7 CST, so about an hour and a half earlier. So if you can tune in, great. Otherwise, like I said, this is going to be archived. And
Let's see live scoring.
it's going to be live scoring music for Super Academy. Yeah. No. So that should be really fun. Wednesday we're going to be doing live character drawings. If you want to send, I guess, even just requests for, like, if you can't make it, going to be basing a lot of suggestions of characters and everything. So if you just want to, if you can even send, you want to message it to us or whatever. If you can't make it, that's great. I mean, it's great if you can send it if you can't make it. Thursday, costumes and props, and Friday, we're going to be doing our game session with the characters of Super Academy. And Saturday is going to be our all-day live stream webcast. So
All day, 24
no, maybe 12. So yeah, so we'll catch you guys there. And yeah, sorry for some of the issues earlier. And but thank you, Alec, for coming.
Yeah, no problem. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Fund it.
Mm-hmm. And cool. Thank you, guys, for coming. No. Say something.
What?
Say something else.
Boy, I hope we get funded.
And on that.